The Nigerian tertiary education establishments include the universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. The direct beneficiaries under TETFund's intervention include the public institutions, which are the universities, polytechnics, as well as the colleges of education. These are duly owned by the federal and state governments. Today, TETFund is steadily building and supporting these tertiary institutions amidst their enormous responsibility and tasks before it, especially considering the importance of tertiary education in nation building. Under the current dispensation, TETFund is on the superhighway of actualizing ambitious and a robust agenda tailored out by its indefatigable Executive Secretary, most especially in his visionary journey that is aimed at repositioning and advancing TETFund's mission to a greater height, in accordance with President Tinubu administration's renewed hope mantra.
You're welcome to a fresh edition of your program Towards a Greater Nigeria. And today we're looking at the activities and the development taking place in the education sector in Nigeria today. Mr. President has said it several times that it is number one priority for him, because educate a nation, you are educating the world. And it's not surprising that he has put the right pegs in the right holes. Here we have the right person to head the education ministry in person of Professor Tahir Maman, OON. And of course, we found that we've gotten the right person to be in charge of TETFund in person of Architect Sonny Echono. You're welcome. I have the pleasure of speaking with our own minister here this evening. You're welcome, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Same here too. What would you say the plans are for the development of tertiary education sector in Nigeria? What is your vision? What should we expect now that you're here, in line with the dictate of Mr. President?
Yeah. Well, we want to thank our leader, the President of Nigeria, for finding me suitable, to man this most important ministry. Because education is the mother of all other professions derive their qualifications from what we do here. And secondly, education is what makes the society prosperous. Well, they are the ones who generate ideas for research, innovation, which is the very reason why societies make progress. So getting it right in education is imperative. It's a must. It has to be done. Imperative. Yes. And for us, interestingly, as you have said, I come with a background from tertiary education, and of course with a full knowledge of the workings of the pre-tertiary education system, and focuses specifically on the tertiary education. We want to see that sector give leadership in terms of the skills necessary for its graduates to be able to be employable. There are a lot of complaints out there that our graduates can't find jobs because they are not fit for purpose, and then it has been growing by leaps and bounds in very large numbers, but we have to focus on quality. We are going to challenge the universities and the regulatory bodies to continue to improve on what they are doing. Just for instance, actually, the Universities Commission rolled out what is called CCMAS, a new program for content in the university system, and benchmarking what are supposed to be. So that comprises about 70% of what universities will be doing. And then the 30% will be brought in by individual universities and lecturers. But we'll have to go beyond that. In other places, actually, they don't have that government prescribed benchmark. Universities strive for excellence. Universities strive to be innovators. Universities strive to be entrepreneurial, so that when people finish, it's not a question of looking for salary jobs. They become employers, as it were, employers of labor. So that's the challenge we are going to put across to the tertiary. That's the universities. But at that tertiary level, you also have polytechnics and colleges of education. But for some reason, we have not empowered them to a good level. In terms of equipment that they need, in terms of the equipment they need to train people. It's unlike the university. They are supposed to be hands-on. So for us, we are going to focus attention on that, and the same thing with colleges of education.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I must say that amidst the nosediving that you seem to have seen in the education sector, I seem to have some good news for you.
Right.
Yeah, because I've been with my TV crew on a tour of most of our tertiary institutions for the past 2 months, since August. And what is propelling us is to see right hand, which people will say kuro eyes, what is going on there. And it gladdens my heart to let you know that almost 75 to 80% of the people we engaged, I'm happy to let you know that the response we get has been a very, very positive one. I was at University of Abuja, and one of the students that we spoke to said, "Ma'am, I can't imagine our universities in Nigeria without TETFund intervention projects." So that gives me some good news.
Oh, yeah, it does. TETFund, it was a very big vision on the part of those who thought about that. And it's one institution actually that has been able to stand out the problem associated with our country. A level of efficiency, its focus, and its commitment to getting things right. Exactly. Yeah. You don't see TETFund structures collapsing anywhere, or wobbly, or whatever it is. You see that professionalism on it. Yeah, so it's one outfit that we need to preserve very carefully, because I don't know what will happen if there's no TETFund in tertiary education.
It's been nice talking with you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You're welcome.
Indeed, the fund is not only supporting public tertiary institutions in the rehabilitation and provision of physical infrastructure, but also contributing to the training of academic staffs in postgraduate studies, both locally and internationally.
I have the pleasure of speaking with a very, very dynamic gentleman, the right peg in the right hole. He knows his onions. He is a person of the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Abdul Rashid Na'ala. You're welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Prof, we know the federal government they've invested a lot in the development of tertiary education in Nigeria, especially through the various TETFund intervention projects. As a VC of University of Abuja, how would you say all these intervention projects have been? How impactful have they been?
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for this question. The truth is that University of Abuja is blessed. If you come to our campus, you will see the difference. Virtually every part of the campus that you go, at the department level, at the faculty level, at the university level, everywhere. Is it equipment? Is it infrastructural building? Infrastructure, even the road. Most of them are sponsored through TETFund intervention. So our university is moving in a level at which it is pleased with itself due to the TETFund intervention. Currently, as I speak, we're doing a new Senate building. We're doing an international conference center. We're putting on lecture halls, lecture theaters. We're doing so much tremendous work. We're starting for example, aeronautical and astronautical engineering. We're working with TETFund to equip that new, very, very intensively expensive academic department.
Very expensive.
So we are proud of TETFund and what TETFund is able to help us to do. University of Abuja is really moving to be, a university that is first rate in the use of technology. And we are grateful to TETFund that is thinking with us, sometimes even ahead of us.
I can see. All other VCs said the same thing.
Absolutely.
They're thinking very, very, very spot on.
Appreciation goes for a job well done. It can increase the zeal and determination to do more. This underscores the importance of these testimonies on the role of TETFund in enhancing the learning environment in nation's tertiary institution since its inception.
Nobody will contest the fact that TETFund is more or less like the lifesaver of education generally in Nigeria. We look around campus, not just here, across all universities, across all public polytechnics and colleges of education. And remove TETFund funded projects and you discover that what you have is more or less like dilapidated, unstructured campuses. So TETFund has been doing a lot. It can still do more.
Even the seats are now very comfortable. We now have classes with projectors. We have comfortable classes to sit, to write, and it's beautiful.
Then second, it has helped with to eradicate lecture cancellations, because before, where we had few structures, sometimes not everybody can get a space to sit down or to have a lecture at that particular time, and then they have to shift the lecture, postpone it, or cancel it.
TETFund has also involved in our library aspect. They provided us with so many chairs, tables, law books, and other books in the library also. TETFund itself has been a very blissful and a very impactful agency in University of Abuja, and we're so blessed to have them. We thank you so very much, TETFund. We really, really, really appreciate. God bless.
Within a period of 1.5 years, TETFund has fully repositioned its statutory mandate of realizing a culture of responsibility and transparency in its day-to-day interventions, especially witnessed in all its current initiatives, strategies, and project delivery.
With me, the professor, I call her my dear sister. She's actually the Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos, Professor Shade Ogunshola, a very, very professional lady. And as we get onto the program, you get to see why I said that. You're welcome, my dear sister.
Thank you very much.
The very first question I have for you, we know that there are lots and lots of TETFund projects here and there, and we know that they are to also enhance tertiary education in Nigeria. How would you say the impact has been on Unilag?
I will say, first of all, TETFund has been amazing. And the impact has been in a number of ways. Infrastructure, we lecture theaters that we have built, laboratories. We've had scholar suites, which is for international faculty, so that when they come, they have somewhere to stay. Then we've had the impact in terms of ICT, our internet facilities, in terms of computers, having the bringing hardware, the cabling, and so on.
For the benefit of the students.
Oh, yeah. So ULAG has quite a lot of hotspots around here. Then they've been in manpower development, supported training of staff, training of students. You've supported us also in terms of linking us to international parties. They've also helped a lot in training our junior faculty, as any for PhDs and so on. TETFund also has infrastructure. They also have funding for, maintenance, so that's which is key. Yes, so they supported your infrastructure. They give you maintenance, and they give you some money to determine the things that you really need to do, and you choose what it is that you will do. And then they have some special interventions that come in, that are a lot of money, but it will be some really specific. And they did not necessarily for you like at this point. I know we also have things for security, that you might need to support you. So we have quite one other one that we just recently did was the academic publishing centers, which is to support our publishing. Yes, so we have the academic with state-of-the-art printing to support the university presses and so on. The TETFund has been really great in these areas. They've helped in terms of our libraries and getting the kind of resources we need for e-resources. My librarian, I'm not sure if it could function if the TETFund didn't get us the resources. Because as academics, we must have access to new journals and so on. Okay. Because, they're in tens of millions to get these resources, and TETFund helps us to subscribe.
Tell us about the TETFund intervention project. How well are they impacted?
I can tell you straight to the point that TETFund is all over me because I'm a direct beneficiary of TETFund.
As a creative artist?
Yes, as a creative artist. And as a very prominent, relevant member of this community, University of Lagos, and I have benefited from this project in such a way that it has taken me out of the country to go and study actually for my PhD.
TETFund has made education more convenient for we students. We have a roof over our head, we have ventilation in each hall, and it has made schooling and education more comfortable for us in sense of the hostels. Within our environs in the school, we have hostels where students can just stay in after a stressful day in school.
We're still looking at the Nigerian education sector. So it takes me now to the doors of the chief executive that has been doing this good job, and I have in person of architect Sunday Ichuno. You're welcome. Yes.
Thank you very much. Pleasure having you.
Thank you. Yes. The first thing I want to ask you, having visited a cross-section of our tertiary institutions and spoken with a lot of our people, when I say beneficiaries, the students, the lecturers, even administrative staff. And my question to them had been, how would you quantify the impact, or what's your take on the impact of TETFund in relation to the various intervention activities in the institutions?
Well, thank you very much, Madam. It's a special privilege to be leading an institution like TETFund, and also being afforded the opportunity to contribute in a meaningful way to revitalizing, rehabilitating, and restoring our tertiary education system all across board. TETFund was born out of crisis, and essentially it was in recognition of the level of decay that had occurred in our institutions, especially in terms of facilities and the morale of staff, in terms of also the quality of falling standard in education at the time. And since inception, we've had the privilege of reasonably good leadership and the support of several administrations, and there has been an incremental improvement. So we are building on very solid foundations that are laid more than 10, 15, 20 years ago. And we are trying to expand that to make it more relevant. For example, our first objective was to improve the quality of the structures we're putting on our campuses. Now we're moving to a different level. We want to have iconic projects, not just dot the campuses with small buildings as they were, but we want to create the ambience of a campus. Our campus has its own architecture that dignifies, that creates, a citadel of learning, as they call it. So we want to restore our campuses to that. And two, we've achieved a great deal in terms of academic staff development. So we are now moving into other areas of research. We want to be able to project Nigerian scholars, to promote them. Part of the reasons why we set up TERAS was because we want increasing visibility for researchers in this country so that they will get citations, and the internationalization and even the international ranking of the institution will get a lot higher. Because not only will we be able to now ensure that all theses done in this country are original works, because we have anti-plagiarism checkers incorporated, we are also going to ensure that they have access to all the resources that any other institution across the world will have. EBSCOP and a platform, for example, libraries all across the world, all integrated. With Blackboard, we are talking about 4,000 universities across the globe sharing all their resources. So in real time, a professor can be in Harvard and give lectures, and all our 253 beneficial institutions can actually participate in that lecture. So we are bringing our students the quality of resources that is available to any other institution you can find in the world. And again, the issue of entrepreneurship. Time has come when we should stop this notion of producing graduates who will come out to go and seek government employment. Because there's a limit to how many candidates government can employ. So we need to change our curriculum, and we're doing that. We need to promote linkages, we call it the triple helix, that government will create an environment where our academia and industry will have a very symbiotic, mutually reinforcing and beneficial relationships, where industries will take advantage of the product of research and even the personnel that are produced by our institutions, while they also contribute to this research work through endowments, through grants, and through partnerships. And this is something we are trying to forge and build, because ultimately we need to produce graduates that will fit the needs of tomorrow.
Exactly.
Solve our societal problems and also anticipate what opportunities there will be there in the economy. Because we need to grow this economy. And there are so many things we can do in various sectors. There are grave inefficiencies out there. Huge opportunities. Even in renewable energy alone, you can do a whole lot. Take agriculture, for example. If a country like the US has only 5% of their population feeding the rest of the country and exporting huge agricultural products, why do we need 60% of our population engaged in agriculture? By the time we mechanize, by the time we commercialize our agriculture, improve yields across board, use simple tools and machines, and these have to be developed. This will create jobs. It will create value. By the time we adopt processing, why should we be exporting primary products 60 years after independence? It's not acceptable. Because it's the process of converting these raw materials into finished goods that creates employment, that creates value, and you can share that value and it will translate to shared prosperity for all. So we have a huge program on entrepreneurship, on employability. As I speak today, we have 2 different workshops happening simultaneously targeted at that. And I just went to address them today because we want everybody on board to ensure that we do the right things to grow this economy, and also ensure that the millions of young people in this country have opportunities of contributing their own quota. Let them join in creating wealth and let them be part of sharing in that wealth.
Exactly. Interesting. It's good to hear you say all this. And hearing you talk is telling me the reform that is going on here. We wish you success. We'll come knocking on your doors again.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be bringing you yet another segment focus on the education sector in Nigeria in a few weeks from now. So remain your anchor, Omotayo Omotusho, and don't forget the focus tonight at being on the tertiary education in Nigeria. God bless you. Have a good night rest.